When someone shows genuine hatred toward another person, it creates a special kind of damage that goes far beyond normal anger or dislike. This hatred burns slowly and deeply, and it shows up in ways that most people never learn to recognize. The person who hates might smile at your face while working against you behind your back. They might act friendly in public but celebrate your failures in private. Most people think hatred is loud and obvious, but real hatred is quiet and patient. It waits for the perfect moment to strike. It plans every move carefully. The scary part is that genuine hatred can destroy relationships, careers, and even families before anyone realizes what is happening. Many people go through years of confusion and pain because they cannot spot these signs early enough. They wonder why certain people in their lives seem to bring chaos wherever they go. They question themselves instead of questioning the person who truly hates them. Today we will uncover the 5 unmistakable signs that someone genuinely hates you. These signs are not about someone having a bad day or being temporarily upset with you. These are the clear patterns that show when hatred has taken root in someone's heart toward you. Each sign we discuss will help you protect yourself and make better decisions about who deserves your trust and energy. This information could save you from years of unnecessary pain and confusion. It is crucial that you watch every single part of this video because each sign builds on the previous one. To save time while getting all the important details, watch this video at 1.5 or 2 times speed instead of skipping sections. Now here is where things get really interesting and maybe a little scary too. Think about that friend who always seems to forget to invite you to important events, or that coworker who somehow never passes along crucial information that could help your career. Some people might say these are just accidents or oversights, but when it keeps happening with the same person, we need to wake up and see what is really going on here. The first sign that someone genuinely hates you is that they actively work against your success. They become secret agents of destruction in your life, and the crazy part is they do it with a smile on their face. These people have turned sabotage into an art form, and they are way better at it than most of us realize. Let me paint you a picture of how this works. When someone disagrees with you, they will tell you directly. They might say something like, "I think your idea won't work because of this reason," and then you can have a normal conversation about it. But when someone genuinely hates you and wants to sabotage you, they never give you that chance. Instead, they will nod and smile when you share your plans, then go behind your back and plant seeds of doubt in other people's minds about your abilities. In the workplace, a saboteur might volunteer to help with your project just so they can access information they can use against you later. They might agree to handle an important task and then conveniently forget about it at the worst possible moment. Or they might share your ideas with the boss and present them as their own thoughts. The really sneaky ones will even point out small flaws in your work while ignoring the bigger picture of your success. When it comes to relationships, these people become relationship terrorists. They will find ways to create drama between you and your partner or friends. They might tell your partner things like, "I saw your boyfriend talking to another girl and he looked really happy." Or they might share old embarrassing stories about you at the worst possible times. They feed off the chaos they create in your personal life. Social media has made sabotage even easier for these people. They might not like your posts even when they like everyone else's posts about similar things. They might leave comments that seem supportive on the surface, but actually plant doubt in other people's minds. Or they might share your failures publicly while staying mysteriously quiet about your successes. The reason they choose subtle sabotage over direct confrontation is simple. Direct confrontation makes them look bad and reveals their true nature to everyone around them. But subtle sabotage allows them to destroy you while maintaining their innocent image. They want to be seen as the good person while you slowly fall apart. And they want everyone to think your failures are your own fault. Here is something that will blow your mind. These people actually get psychological satisfaction from watching you fail. Your pain brings them joy in a way that is hard for normal people to understand. When your project falls apart or your relationship ends, They feel a rush of happiness that they have to hide from everyone else. This is not normal human behavior, and it shows just how deep their hatred runs. The warning signs that someone is spreading negative information about you are usually subtle but consistent. People start acting differently around you for no clear reason. Opportunities that seemed certain suddenly disappear without explanation. Friends begin asking you strange questions about things you never told them. Your reputation starts to suffer in ways that don't make sense based on your actual actions. This is sign number 1 out of 5 signs that someone genuinely hates you, and recognizing it early can save you from years of confusion and self-doubt. The key is to start paying attention to patterns instead of dismissing individual incidents as coincidences. There was this person I knew who would always show up at the worst moments in people's lives. Whenever someone lost their job, went through a breakup, or faced any kind of tragedy, this person would suddenly become the most caring and concerned friend in the world. At first, everyone thought they were just really compassionate and supportive. But something felt off about the whole thing. The truth became clear when you started paying close attention to their facial expressions and body language. When someone shared good news, this person's face would fall for just a split second before they forced a smile. But when someone shared bad news, their eyes would light up immediately, and they would lean forward with genuine interest and excitement. They could not hide that spark of joy that flashed across their face when they heard about other people's pain. This brings us to sign number 2 out of 5 signs that someone genuinely hates you. They show joy when bad things happen to you. Now, this is not about someone who feels a little jealous when you succeed, or someone who is having a bad day and reacts poorly to your good news. This is about someone who consistently gets genuine pleasure from your suffering and struggles to hide their excitement when you face difficulties. The difference between someone who is genuinely concerned about your problems and someone who is secretly pleased by them shows up in dozens of small ways. A person who truly cares about you will ask follow-up questions to understand how they can help. They will offer practical solutions or emotional support. Their body language will match their words, and you will feel their genuine empathy and concern. But someone who hates you will respond to your bad news in ways that feel wrong, even if you cannot put your finger on why. They might say all the right words, but their tone will have an edge of excitement that does not match the situation. They will ask for more details about your problems in a way that feels invasive rather than caring. Instead of offering to help, they might make comments that actually make you feel worse about your situation. These people struggle to hide their satisfaction when you suffer because genuine emotions are hard to fake completely. They might try to look concerned, but their real feelings leak out through micro-expressions that last just a fraction of a second. You might catch them smiling slightly when they think you are not looking, or you might notice that their voice has more energy when they are talking about your problems than it does during normal conversations. Here are some examples of inappropriate responses that reveal their true feelings. When you tell them you lost your job, they might say, "Oh no, that's terrible," but then immediately start asking detailed questions about your financial situation or how you are going to pay your bills. When you share that your relationship ended, they might offer fake sympathy, but then quickly change the subject to talk about how happy they are in their own relationship. When you face any kind of setback, they become unusually interested in hearing about every painful detail. Sometimes they disguise their joy as concern or sympathy, but the disguise is not perfect. They might say things like, "I was so worried this would happen," or "I had a feeling things were not going well for you," in a way that reveals they were actually hoping for your downfall. They might offer help that is not really helpful, or advice that actually makes your situation worse. Pay attention to the silence that follows your good news compared to their animated response to your problems. When you share something positive, they might give you a flat, "That's nice," and quickly change the subject. But when you share something negative, suddenly they have all the time in the world to discuss every aspect of your situation. Social media makes this behavior even more obvious. They might be the first person to react to your posts about struggles or failures, but they consistently ignore your posts about achievements or happy moments. They might share articles or memes that relate to your problems right after you post about them, or they might make comments on your difficult posts that seem supportive but actually draw more attention to your pain. If you have been getting value from this information and want to support the work we are doing here, smash that subscribe button if you have not done that already. Your support helps us continue bringing you insights that can genuinely change your life. Now, what I am about to share with you next is probably the most dangerous and devastating thing that someone who genuinely hates you will do. This goes beyond personal attacks or mean comments. This is about something much more sinister and calculated. This is about someone systematically destroying the relationships that matter most to you. And they do it so cleverly that you might not even realize what is happening until it is too late. This is sign number 3 out of 5 signs that someone genuinely hates you, and I need you to pay very close attention because this information could save your most important relationships from being poisoned by someone who wants to see you isolated and alone. They try to turn others against you. But here is the thing that makes this so dangerous. They do not do it in obvious ways that would make them look bad. Instead, they become master manipulators who use psychological tactics that most people never learn to recognize. Here is how they systematically work to damage your reputation with mutual friends, family, or colleagues. They start by building trust and rapport with the people who matter to you. They position themselves as caring, concerned individuals who only want what is best for everyone involved. They become the person that others confide in and trust with sensitive information. Once they have established this position of trust, they begin planting seeds of doubt about your character. They do not make direct accusations because that would be too obvious. Instead, they make subtle comments that sound like genuine concern. They might say things like, "I hope everything is okay with Sarah. She seemed really stressed lately, and I worry about her making good decisions when she is under pressure." On the surface, this sounds caring, but they are actually suggesting that you cannot be trusted to make good decisions. The strategic way they plant these seeds of doubt is truly masterful in its evil genius. They use a technique where they share partial truths mixed with subtle distortions. They might tell your friend about something you actually did, but they frame it in a way that makes you look bad or question your motivations. They present themselves as reluctant to share this information, which makes them seem more trustworthy and makes the information seem more credible. When someone is triangulating relationships to isolate you, they create a web of communication where information flows through them instead of directly between you and other people. They become the middleman in conversations and relationships, which gives them the power to control what information gets shared and how it gets presented. They might tell your friend, "I talked to John about what you said, and he seemed really upset about it," even when John was not actually upset at all. They use partial truths and strategic omissions to paint you in a negative light. They might share a story about something you did, but leave out important context that would explain your actions or make them seem reasonable. Or they might take something you said in confidence and share it with others in a way that makes you look untrustworthy or mean-spirited. The reason they target your closest relationships and support systems is because they understand that these relationships are your source of strength and stability. If they can damage these connections, they can leave you feeling confused, alone, and vulnerable. They know that isolated people are easier to manipulate and control. Here is the pattern you need to watch for. People who used to be warm and friendly with you suddenly become distant or cold after spending time with this person. Friends stop inviting you to events or start acting differently around you for no clear reason. Family members begin questioning your choices or bringing up old issues that had been resolved. Colleagues start treating you with suspicion or avoiding collaboration with you. The way to protect your relationships from this kind of manipulation and poisoning is to maintain direct communication with the people who matter to you. If someone starts acting differently toward you, address it directly with them instead of trying to figure out what happened through other people. Be transparent about your experiences and feelings and encourage the same openness from others. This information is incredibly valuable for protecting yourself from people who want to destroy your life from the inside out. If you find this content helpful and want to support the channel and the work being done here, you can leave a donation by clicking the thanks button just below this video. Your support means everything and helps us continue providing insights that can genuinely change lives. Let's continue. This next sign is going to reveal something about human psychology that most people never understand. And once you learn this lesson, you will never look at certain behaviors the same way again. This is information that can fundamentally change how you interpret the actions of people around you, and it is a lesson that should never be taken for granted. Sign number 4 out of 5 signs that someone genuinely hates you is both fascinating and disturbing at the same time. They copy you while trying to outdo you. This behavior reveals a level of obsession and psychological dysfunction that goes far beyond normal admiration or inspiration. When someone genuinely hates you, they often become consumed with studying every aspect of your life. They pay attention to your style choices, your career moves, your relationship patterns, your hobbies, and even your way of speaking. But here is what makes this behavior so twisted. They are not doing this because they admire you or want to be like you. They are doing this because they want to prove that they can do everything you do, but better. The psychological need to prove they can do everything you do better comes from a place of deep insecurity and resentment. In their mind, you represent something they feel they deserve but do not have. Maybe you have confidence they lack, success they want, or relationships they envy. Instead of working on themselves or finding their own path, they decide that the solution is to become a superior version of you. This goes far beyond normal inspiration or healthy competition. When someone is inspired by another person, they might adopt certain ideas or approaches, but they make them their own. They add their own personality and perspective to create something unique. But when someone hates you and copies you, they try to replicate exactly what you do while adding elements designed to make their version seem better. Here is how you can distinguish between inspiration and malicious copying. Inspiration leads to creativity and personal growth. The person takes an idea and builds on it in their own way. They give credit where credit is due and acknowledge where their ideas came from. Malicious copying leads to imitation without innovation. The person tries to recreate what you have done as closely as possible while claiming it as their own original idea. Examples of this behavior might include stealing credit for your ideas, achievements, or creative work. They might present your concepts to mutual friends or colleagues as if they came up with them independently. They might copy your business strategies and then claim they thought of them first. Or they might recreate your artistic work or creative projects and present them as their own original creations. The competitive behavior that goes beyond normal rivalry becomes obvious when you start paying attention to patterns. Normal competition inspires people to improve themselves and pursue their own goals. But malicious competition focuses entirely on outdoing you specifically, even in areas where competition does not make sense. They might suddenly develop an interest in your hobbies right after you mention them, but instead of asking you for advice or wanting to learn from you, they immediately try to become better at these activities than you are. They might copy your fashion choices, but always add something extra to make their version seem more expensive or stylish. They might pursue the same career opportunities as you, not because they are genuinely interested in those opportunities, but because they want to prove they can achieve what you achieve. The reason they study your life so closely is because they have made you the measure of their own success. In their twisted worldview, being better than you is more important than being the best version of themselves. They use the information they gather about you to anticipate your moves and try to stay one step ahead. This creates an uncomfortable feeling that someone is living a parallel version of your life. You might start noticing that they make similar choices to yours, but always with some modification designed to make their choice seem superior. You might feel like they are always watching and evaluating your decisions, not to learn from you, but to find ways to outdo you. The most disturbing part of this behavior is how they use your own life against you. They take the things that make you unique and special, and they try to claim those things for themselves, while making you feel like you are the one who is copying them. They might even accuse you of stealing ideas from them when you do something that you have been doing long before you met them. This behavior reveals someone who has lost their own sense of identity and purpose because they have become so focused on competing with you. It shows a level of hatred that has consumed their ability to live their own authentic life. I need you to take a moment right now and think about the people in your life. Picture their faces one by one and pay attention to how you feel when you imagine spending time with each person. Some people probably make you feel energized and happy just thinking about them. Others might make you feel neutral or calm. But there might be one or two people who make you feel tired or anxious just by imagining a conversation with them. This feeling is not random, and it is not something you should ignore. Your body and mind are trying to tell you something important about these people, and learning to listen to these signals can protect you from years of emotional damage. This brings us to sign number 5 out of 5 signs that someone genuinely hates you. Every interaction with them leaves you feeling depleted. This is not about having one bad conversation or dealing with someone who is having a difficult day. This is about a consistent pattern where spending time with this person drains your energy, confidence, and peace of mind. Think about conversations you have had recently. Can you remember talking to someone and walking away feeling confused, upset, or exhausted, even though nothing obviously dramatic happened during the conversation? Did you find yourself replaying the conversation in your mind, trying to figure out what went wrong or why you felt so bad afterward? When genuine hatred creates a toxic energy field around interactions, it affects everything about how the conversation feels. The person might be saying normal words and maintaining a normal tone, but something underneath feels poisonous and destructive. Your intuition picks up on this toxic energy even when your conscious mind cannot identify exactly what is wrong. These conversations feel exhausting even when nothing dramatic happens, because you are unconsciously defending yourself against psychological attacks that are too subtle for your conscious mind to recognize. The person might be using tone of voice, word choices, body language, and timing in ways that create stress and discomfort without being obviously hostile. Pay attention to the subtle put-downs, backhanded compliments, and passive-aggressive comments that seem to appear in every conversation with this person. They might say things like, "That dress looks so much better on you than I expected," or "You are doing so well considering everything you have been through." These comments sound positive on the surface, but they contain hidden insults that make you feel bad about yourself. They use emotional manipulation to make you question your own reality. They might deny saying things they clearly said, or they might twist your words to make you seem unreasonable or dramatic. They might bring up your past mistakes or failures in ways that seem casual, but are actually designed to make you feel insecure and doubt yourself. This creates that walking on eggshells feeling you get around them. You find yourself being extra careful about what you say and do, because you never know what might trigger a negative response from them. You start editing your natural personality and behavior to avoid conflict, which is exhausting and unhealthy. Your intuition keeps warning you about this person despite their seemingly nice behavior, because your subconscious mind is picking up on signals that your conscious mind might miss. They might smile and say all the right words, but their energy feels wrong. They might act helpful and supportive, but you always feel worse after spending time with them. These people use psychological warfare to wear down your confidence and peace. They understand that they cannot attack you directly without revealing their true nature. So instead, they use subtle, consistent pressure designed to make you doubt yourself and feel unstable. They want you to question your own perceptions and judgment so that you become easier to manipulate and control. The cumulative effect of these interactions is devastating. Over time, you might start to believe that you are the problem. You might think you are too sensitive or that you are imagining things. You might begin to doubt your own worth and abilities because this person has been subtly undermining your confidence in ways that are hard to identify and address. Learning to recognize this pattern is crucial for protecting your mental and emotional health. When someone consistently makes you feel drained, confused, or bad about yourself, that is important information that you should not ignore. Trust your instincts when they tell you that something is not right about a particular person or relationship. Now that you understand these 5 signs of genuine hatred, you have the power to protect yourself from people who want to destroy your peace, success, and happiness. But knowledge without action is worthless, and if you go back to ignoring these red flags after everything we have discussed, you would be making a choice that could cost you years of your life and countless opportunities for genuine happiness. Think about how foolish it would be to recognize that someone is sabotaging your success, celebrating your failures, isolating you from loved ones, copying you while trying to outdo you, and draining your energy every time you interact with them, and then choose to continue giving them access to your life. That would be like knowing that someone is putting poison in your food and continuing to eat meals they prepare for you. The practical strategies for protecting yourself start with trusting your instincts and setting firm boundaries. When someone consistently exhibits these behaviors, limit your contact with them as much as possible. Share less personal information with them. Stop seeking their approval or trying to win them over. Focus your energy on relationships with people who genuinely support your success and well-being. Sometimes you need to cut ties completely, and sometimes you need to maintain necessary boundaries while protecting yourself. The decision depends on your specific situation, but remember that you do not owe anyone access to your life if they are using that access to harm you. Healing from the damage caused by someone's genuine hatred takes time and intentional effort. Surround yourself with people who celebrate your successes, support you during difficulties, and make you feel energized rather than depleted. Rebuild your confidence by focusing on your authentic goals and values rather than trying to defend yourself against someone else's attacks. Your instincts are telling you the truth about people who consistently make you feel uncomfortable. Stop ignoring these signals in the name of being nice or giving people the benefit of the doubt. Being kind does not mean allowing toxic people to destroy your life. The algorithm knows exactly what you need to see next to continue growing and protecting yourself. That video appearing on your screen right now contains information that will build perfectly on what you have learned today. Click on it immediately because your future self will thank you for the wisdom you are about to gain.